Hi, this is Johnny Red here, handing out red pills to whoever will take them. Fake news. What is it, and how do you recognize it, and how much of it is out there? You hear people on both sides of the political spectrum saying that news and information coming from the other side is fake. YouTube, Google, Facebook, and Twitter all have their own way of deciding what are authoritative sources and what is low-quality content. The first problem with this is, who decides what is fake news? Some say it's fake unless it comes from authoritative sources or trusted sources. Some say that it isn't real unless it's vetted by fact checkers. But the question inevitably arises, who decides what is authoritative? What is a trusted source? Trusted by whom? If news and information is vetted by fact checkers, who are they? Are they objective, or do they have their own biases? Is a description of an historical event accurate just because it is the accepted version? Are all conspiracy theories bunk, or is there evidence to back some of them up? The answers to these questions may never be settled once and for all. But when you have authoritarian governments shutting down free speech and making it criminal to have certain beliefs about historical events, it casts doubt on official versions of history.
Google announced changes to its algorithm search last April, aiming to combat so-called fake news and conspiracy theories. In a blog post, a company executive said the technology would change its search rankings to help surface more authoritative pages and demote low-quality content. But according to my next guest, some believe this new algorithm is doing more than filtering out fake news. Andre Demin, reporter for the World Socialist website, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
So before the election, many on the right were complaining that conservative articles were not coming up on Google searches. And now we're hearing something similar from the other side of the aisle. So you believe that the website you work for in particular is being targeted?
Yes, and among a whole series of left-wing, progressive, and anti-war websites, we have found, using our research based on the Amazon Alexa search tool, and ratings tool, that the rankings and traffic of many left-wing websites have plummeted.
In terms of the right or left, regardless of political affiliation, should Google be in the business of determining what's fake news? And is this an infringement of freedom of speech, or is this a way to really help to stop spreading misinformation all over the place?
Well, we think that Google has no business in deciding what political viewpoints can and cannot be presented to users. If a user searches any topic on political question, he or she should have a wide range of viewpoints that are presented to them. But the vision that was outlined in the April 25th document explaining the changes to Google's algorithm is something completely different. It envisions Google becoming a censorship engine rather than a search engine, in which it has a whole series of internal guidelines with evaluators, which are a little more effectively than censors, who decide what is real and what is fake, what news should be presented, and what news should not be presented.
Here's one example of how Google's censorship works. A writer for the Liberty Beacon and the New American, conservative online magazines, named Selwyn Duke, noticed that Google searches for his past articles weren't showing up. Here is his experience. Quote, "While writing for an article Friday, I wanted to link up to previous articles I had written that provided background information. Believe it or not, though, since I've penned literally thousands of pieces over the years, the easiest way for me to find a given article is the same way you would, via a Google search. I was looking for pieces I had written for the New American about school children punished for innocent play, such as pointing their fingers like a gun and saying bang bang. So I went to Google and entered as search terms and phrases, quote, Selwyn Duke, pointed fingers like gun and said bang, and the New American. For those who don't know, when search phrases are in quotation marks, as I entered my name and the New American, the Google search engine gives you results that with that exact phrase in them. It's a way of providing the engine specificity and narrowing the results. So I clicked the search button. Nothing. Nothing relevant from the New American anyway, on any page that I checked. I knew Google was playing games, as I'd had similar experiences before. So I scrolled to the bottom of the page where Google states, In order to show you the most relevant results, we have omitted some entries very similar to the 22 already displayed. If you like, you can repeat the search with the omitted results included. I clicked the link, and lo and behold, one of my TNA articles was at the very top of the first page. Now, question. When searching, quote, Selwyn Duke and, quote, The New American, how are pages containing Selwyn Duke and The New American not among the most relevant results? Yet it gets even worse. As an experiment, I went to search engine DuckDuckGo and entered the same search terms, and voila, 5 actually relevant results appeared. The first 2 were pieces at TNA authored by me, and the third was one of my TNA articles at a different site, and the fourth a piece I wrote for a different entity, and the fifth was a page that listed a TNA article of mine among many featured pieces. Obviously, Google is not completely blacklisting TNA and other similar traditionalist sites, but it is de-emphasizing them by burying their results. It's the kind of slick censorship that provides plausible deniability. None of this is surprising. Google announced in 2015 that it was considering ranking websites not based on just popularity, which for all its faults is at least democratic, but on truthfulness, as determined by desert mystic Google techies, of course. This kind of censorship works, too. I knew my articles were out there. I knew to keep looking. I knew the system was gamed. But most web users searching for information on school gun paranoia, for instance, simply won't see results from politically incorrect sources and will be none the wiser. Even readers of mine conducting such a search and including my name would likely just conclude, well, I guess Duke hasn't written much on that subject. It's insidious. So, if you've ever wondered why people don't hear the truth, this is one of the reasons. As U.S. News and World Report put it, last year, Google Incorporated isn't just the biggest purveyor of information, it is also the world's biggest censor, and it maintains at least 9 different blacklists. It doesn't have to purge your site completely either. Again, that eliminates plausible deniability. But just push it down in the search rankings. Note that the first page of Google search results gets over 92% of all traffic. Burying a site even on the 3rd or 4th page amounts to banishment to Web Siberia. And for many people, Google is the repository of all information. If it's not on Google, it doesn't exist.
Did you call for assistance?
Yes, I did.
Are you having a problem, Master Kenobi?
Yes, I'm looking for a planetary system called Camino. It doesn't show up in the archive charts.
Camino. It's not a system I'm familiar with. Are you sure you have the right coordinates?
According to my information, it should appear in this quadrant here, just south of the Rishi Maze.
I hate to say it, but it looks like the system you're searching for doesn't exist.
Impossible. Perhaps the archives are incomplete.
If an item does not appear in our records, it does not exist.
Younglings, a visitor we have.
Hello, Master Obi-Wan.
Hello. I'm sorry to disturb you, Master.
What help can I be, Obi-Wan?
I'm looking for a planet described to me by an old friend. I trust him, but the systems don't show in the archive maps.
Lost a planet, Master Obi-Wan has. How embarrassing. How embarrassing. Liam, the Shades. Gather round the map reader, clear your minds, and find Obi-Wan's wayward planet we will.
It ought to be here, but it isn't. Gravity is pulling all the stars in the area towards this spot.
Gravity's silhouette remains, but the star and all the planets disappeared they have. How can this be? A thought? Anyone?
Master? Because someone erased it from the archive memory.
Truly wonderful the mind of a child is. The Padawan is right. Go to the center of gravity's pull and find your planet. You will. The data must have been erased.
But Master Yoda, who could empty information from the archives? That's impossible, isn't it?
Dangerous and disturbing this puzzle is. Only a Jedi could have erased those files. But who and why? Harder to answer.